How you doing? Rich Bonaducci here with yet another cool product for you, and then its replacement, because I found one that basically does the same thing for a fraction of the price. Now, if you know me, if you've seen any of my stuff, you know that I hate stands. I hate carrying around unnecessary drum stands. I will clamp things to floor tom legs and bass drums and do all kinds of things just to avoid carrying extra stands. So I was sitting around going, I wonder if I could clamp something to a bass drum leg, because the bass drum to me is just lost real estate when it comes to hardware. It's the biggest drum we have. It's the heaviest. It's stable as can be. It's sitting on the ground, for crying out loud. You could probably clamp a fair amount of things to it. Look, we're not in a studio here. I don't I'm not worried about, oh, the bass drum might cause a sympathetic resonance with the ride cymbal. It was good enough for Ringo and Buddy Rich, and it's good enough for me. It's fine. So I'll clamp things to lots of different things, hardware, hi-hat stands, and all that kind of stuff. So clamping to a bass drum leg, though, caused a little bit of a problem because oftentimes you have to get it out of the way of the bass drum and get it back over to you. And I thought, I wonder if there's one that's out there that would get around that. And this one literally does. It gets around it. It's a boomerang. It's a Pearl CHC 100. And what it does is this part, and this is the tough part for it, this part is hooked to the end. It will not move along this axis here. It will not move along this pole. So that you'll have to put the rod through it yourself. So clamping that to around a bass drum leg is going to be difficult. And you'll have to take the bass drum leg out and put it in there every time. Now, some bass drum legs, that's easy to do, especially on lower line bass drum legs. Tama, like Imperial Stars, etc., you might be able to do that. You start getting higher than that, and that bass drum leg does not come out of there easily enough to put it through there to then put it into your bass drum and use this as any kind of thing that clamps to your bass drum and holds, say, a ride cymbal, like that. So that wasn't super helpful. And then this side is kind of helpful, except it is locked to that side of this rod. Again, it won't move along this distance. It'll move anywhere around it. It's very super twisty turny, but it is strapped to the end there. It's not going anywhere. Now, Pearl also tried to do a sort of fast release thing on the end here. I don't think it's fast. I think they were trying to come up with something similar to these Tama quick releases, and this is not quicker. This is kind of a cool idea, though, except it costs $145. $145. I'll tell you what, though, what I would have liked is if this could have moved anywhere along this pole, and this could have moved anywhere along this pole, and this would have been like a multi-clamp kind of end, so that I could just clamp that wherever I wanted, right to the bass drum leg, and then take it off when I'm done, or right to a snare stand. That would have been interesting too. Well, Pearl makes something like this, but it's called the CHC 200. And this part, true to form, does move along here, and this part is more of a multi-clamp, and it moves along here. And it's only $230. Seemed a bit much. Well, I found what I was looking for on Amazon. This is called an Eastrock. This pole is about 46 inches long. This one's about 45 inches long. So what you lose in an inch, you gain in price and versatility, and you don't really lose the inch anyway. I'll show you in a second. But this actually does what I wanted it to do in the first place. This part moves along this pole wherever you want. This part moves along this pole wherever you want. Okay, I like the Pearl CHC 200 for $230. And how it does it, at least on this side, is with a drum key, because they want you to have it be nice and stable. You can loosen it and then move that all the way up to the very end if you wanted to, just like the other one is. The other Pearl is all the way up to the end, and there you have it. However, they also have an extra bit of adjustment in that the Pearl does not allow you to adjust that length right there at all. Now, it's only about an inch, inch and a half adjustment, but it's there, and it's there on this one, and it's not there on the other one. See that? Now I can move that down. I can move it down and move it back up a whole other inch or so. I think the inch that I lost in the curved pole, I just gained in this. And by the way, this has this sort of DW adjustment style here, where you can adjust the clamp. And if the clamp happens to adjust tightly in your way, like maybe it adjusts and that's tight for you, but it's too close to, your cymbal or something, as you just saw, it's spring-loaded. So you can just pull it out, move it out of the way, and it doesn't tighten or loosen it at all. So that gets out of the way, and it's really nice. And this is on the cheaper one. By the way, on the other side, this is a full multi-clamp system, as you can see. So this part clamps on here and spins all around the pole, and of course moves up and down the pole. You can put it to the very edge if you want to, with just a twist of a finger. But on this side, it's a multi-clamp system. So this will clamp to, yes, a bass drum leg. Sure it will. But it'll also clamp to a snare drum stand. Wouldn't that be great to be able to clamp this kind of thing to a snare drum stand and have that kind of get out around the snare drum and then put a cool splash right where you need it without an extra stand. I hate carrying a whole stand around to hold a 10-inch splash. This. And for that extra inch you might have lost, if you do this, you gain about 2 inches. I think this ends up being longer than that one if you adjust it correctly. And for the price, well, this one was $145. The one that does this, as far as Pearl is concerned, was $230. This from Eastrock was $37. I could buy 4 of them for this, and about 7 or 8 of them for 7 of them for the CHC 200. And this basically does the same thing. So I'll tell you what, I'll be sending that Pearl back right away, and I'll be using this Eastrock, by the way, called a snare drum cymbal clamp on Amazon. But you could also put this on your bass drum leg, which is what I was hoping to do in the first place, and have that curve around the bass drum and put your ride cymbal essentially right where this one is. Right where that one is, without a whole extra stand for a ride cymbal or a crash cymbal or whatever. I'll be exploring how to use this thing. I think this is going to be a very good use of $37 as opposed to $230.